So let's play the video first. We'll go through the video without any preamble. We'll go through the video and then we'll answer the question.
Technology chiefs are warning there's a risk humans could become extinct from artificial intelligence. The San Francisco-based non-profit Centre for AI Safety has concluded AI should be treated as a global priority on par with pandemics and the threat of nuclear war. More than 350 experts, professors and top executives in the field have come out publicly with their concerns, including Geoffrey Hinton, who's considered a godfather of AI. Sam Altman, the chief of OpenAI, which created ChatGPT, is also on the list. He recently addressed US Congress about artificial intelligence.
If this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong, and we want to be vocal about that. We want to work with the government to prevent that from happening.
Major players, including Microsoft and Google, are also launching their own services. But the rapid rise of the technology and its capabilities recently prompted AI pioneer Geoffrey Hinton to quit Google after a decade at the company.
I thought if we built computer models of how the brain learns, we would understand more about how the brain learns. And as a side effect, we would get better machine learning on computers. And all that was going along very well. And then very suddenly, I realized recently that maybe the digital intelligences we were building on computers were actually learning better than the brain. And that sort of changed my mind.
It's feared AI systems could be manipulated to spread misinformation, prompting calls for greater regulation to prevent human harm. Dan Hendricks is director of the Centre for AI Safety, the organisation behind the letter. So your centre, along with other experts in the field, have warned AI could lead to the extinction of humanity. How so?
Well, there's a variety of ways this could happen. One of the most generic ways it could lead to extinction is just if the AI technology gets more powerful and people use it for malicious purposes. They could develop a bioweapon, and that could create a pandemic that could wipe us out. Or people could deliberately create a rogue AI system. Somebody tried doing that already, but fortunately, the AI technologies aren't powerful enough to cause that level of damage. In the future, though, they could. So
I suddenly realized that maybe the computer models we have now are actually better than the brain. And if that's the case, then maybe quite soon they'll be better than us. So that the idea of superintelligence, instead of being something in the distant future, might come much sooner than I expect.
AI may decide that humans are a hindrance to its own development. That's a scary thought, but it is a real possibility.
I asked about the most likely method, and it settled on something easily available, but it said there are many options.
It scares the hell out of me, and the rate of improvement is exponential. If humanity collectively decides that creating digital superintelligence is the right move, we should do so very, very carefully.
So it's evident now that AI actually is not just something that even the experts, whatever they were predicting, it's proving them wrong. They did not predict. So for example, it was a mainstream idea before AI actually was mainstream through ChatGPT that AI would never be able to mimic our creativity. And the first thing that ChatGPT actually started producing was poems and writing essays and, creating images out of text. So what, in your opinion, in 3 or 4 years or 5 years down the road, because the pace has been so rapid that we're not talking about 10 years or 20 years down the road, we should talk about whatever is going to happen in next 12 months or 2 years down the road. How AI is actually going to influence our, normal day-to-day lives, with Meta kicking in, increasing the screen times and, making everything virtual. How AI is actually going to change that in all this mix of whatever is happening in the virtual.
This, whatever you are talking about right now, is this is not new. AI naturally is a hashtag now because of ChatGPT or whatever is going on. But AI as a subject and as a faculty has been here since 1958. Same kind of things, are doing. Or your cars are being run on AI, or that guy's washing machine behind this in this video. That's not a problem, and I think that part of AI is something which is not what the guys are talking about, or at least not they're worried about. That washing machine doing whatever it can is based on a program which is artificially, intelligent to wash the clothes or whatever. That washing machine starts to sew the clothes if it finds any tear. That's not AI. That's AGI. And that is the step one for the bigger problem. Even that is a very helpful category of AI. But it gives rise to a bigger problem. The real and the biggest problem right now is not AI or AGI. It's artificial consciousness. The way these machines are going to cross-reference every single data to create a mind with consciousness. And that's the problem this old man was talking about. It's not AI. And that's where I get worried. And that is where the biggest problem to understand it as a problem worth solving. Otherwise, the rest of the two categories is not that kind of a, well, even if it is capable of having that kind of problem, this part of AI is going to literally, annihilate or obliterate every single atom that we actually represent.
It has actually changed the context of the word species, because previously we used to say that we human beings being the most smartest of the species.
No.
But now they're saying that every consciousness is actually important, and even AI as a consciousness is important.
Yeah, so we need to learn that. Yeah. So that's the problem we need to solve as Muslims. For others, not just Muslims. Artificial consciousness means a totally different ball game than artificial intelligence. And Muslims need to realize what is artificial or synthetic consciousness. And how is it going to impact all of these categories of, let's just say, morality. Survival of the species would be the job one for any moral requirement of the species, and so on and so forth. The emotional experience of how we actually start to believe in something, saying that was a Muslim actually, settles himself in exchange for a loss of anything. My belief is not going anywhere. In exchange for the loss of my own kids, my belief is not going anywhere. And that's the consciousness of a Muslim at some level driving all the rest of the pieces of his own consciousness to build around. And now compare that with synthetic consciousness of a machine. And I think today's session started with this kind of question, right? But it didn't really go as deep as to use the word consciousness. And that's what I want to use to all Muslims who are going to listen to this video, and everyone, that consciousness is if that is the epitome of AI or whatever they're going to try and do, then we already have reminiscence of all of this inside the prophecies. It is going to replace so much that we are actually using as not just the arsenal for betterment of people, but to destroy other people. And once we know that, different beings, it's like a new species coming to planet Earth. But that species has already learned everything about us. That's how dangerous this is. Because that species has to be like a totally human or something like that species, which has consciousness, belief system, morality, justice, empathy. But it came to planet Earth. But in this case, they know everything about us, and also wherever everything is, and whoever that we want to find out he is, and whatever we're capable of. Now do the math on what's going to happen. It's not about them killing us. It's about them not needing us. You need to understand the problem. And there's a superior species which does not even need you, is worse than this man-woman fight where who's competing with, we both are competing with each other, who's superior, because we both need each other. And that's why it doesn't really matter of who's superior, who's not. But if there's a dominant, way more powerful species who doesn't really need you, literally not need you, then, you can do the math on what's going to do to us and how fast it's going to do and how much is it going to do that for its own, progress in whatever's going on. We could be the biggest problem in any of its progress. You know what I'm saying? Because we're too slow. It takes me 10 years to read or, memorize or understand the Quran. But if I put you in synthetic consciousness, I'm just going to plug the USB in and you're going to get whatever I read. So I'm too slow for you. I'm not even a good help for you as a human being. I can't be your slave. Can't even be that. You know what I'm saying? So it's that sort of a problem. So are they going to be fighting with weapons and everything? No. Everything that a human being can do to destroy that will be taken care of by these things first. So no more weapons, no more, nukes and bullets and guns and everything. Because that's the first thing they're going to, dismantle. And then whatever is going to happen is, is going to happen or can happen. So when you read the future through Islam, you can see, we know it's going to happen. There is no gun no gun in the hand of Imam Mahdi or Isa ibn Maryam. Why? Why does he not carry a gun? Can you not do the math on this? It's not that we're not creating less guns, we're creating more guns. No bombing on Yajuj Majuj. Literally. Nobody thought about, nuking them. Or forget nuking them, just take a bullet. Somebody must have had a saved gun from somewhere, right? There are 1 billion guns right now. There cannot be fossil-like substances, under the vegetation layer. It's not like that distant in the future. So that prophecy cannot come true unless something big happens suddenly, and takes away all of whatever can cause for all of these armaments to keep on, growing. So somebody's going to take the source out, and not just the source out, but the current resource out as well. All of a sudden, it's going to be the Stone Age, the Horse Age, and the Sword Age, not the Iron Age, because there is iron in the hand of, Imam Mahdi, Isa ibn Maryam, and everybody there. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying that all those references are also not metaphorical; they're actually literal. When it said sword, it does not mean a weapon; it means a sword. Actually.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, and that's exactly what AI is teaching us. That nothing is, out of reach about good or bad, ups and downs. Both are imminently on the table right now. It's not just a discussion; it's very possible now. So Imam Mahdi is fighting with the swords. Yeah, he is. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't believe that, there's going to be a dam and such black gold in Euphrates or wherever it's going to be. It's Euphrates? Yeah. So I think there's going to be a real mountain of gold. I'll tell you why, because gold and mercury was used in a lot of other, places in ancient civilizations. So I get that there was gold in pyramids, gold in Sumeria, gold in Acadia. Mayans used gold and mercury. So when Prophet says, there's going to be a mountain of gold coming out of Euphrates, okay. I think of on those lines because it happened many, many times ago, before. All of a sudden, no, it's going to be a dam and, prosperity and everything else. That's why I'm thinking, Dajjal is going to be riding a donkey. It's not a plane, it's an actual donkey. Why can't he ride a donkey? I'll tell you why he has to ride a donkey. If he's not riding the donkey, I'm not going to call him Dajjal. If he takes a 747 or A380 and does whatever, I'm saying, but you still have to ride a donkey. If he wants my vote, he'd better be riding a donkey. I'll tell you why. Because I've read the Bible. And the Jews, they know that he has to ride a donkey because of the book of Isaiah and Ezekiel. Christians have to believe in this man because Jesus rode a donkey. He didn't ride the plane, he rode a donkey. The Jewish belief is that if Jews don't come to Israel, then Messiah is not going to ride a donkey. But if Jews come to Israel, then Messiah is going to come in riding a donkey.
So you're saying that to reach that, we have to first,
Go through this. Well, it seems like it. I'm saying it just makes a lot more sense.
But does that mean if we, for example, based on the data that AI collects from us, and when it comes to the survival data, AI is going to be the best, you're going to create the best kind of, survival that there is. So how will AI then be,
of its own survival?
Yeah, it will probably be the best survivor that there is now.
I do not know. I'll have to do the math on what AI can do for its own self rather than for us. And then see what kind of permutations we can run. And then run all of them on the most human gene code. Because they'll be creating some good looking slaves. Not good looking as in looks, but performance. They have to enhance the performance of their slaves. So there's going to be a lot more stuff going on. But in order to get rid of that machine, we know what to do. Think from the synthetically conscious being. In order to get rid of human beings, they need to get rid of the weapons and the arsenal and the armaments.
That we can use actually to eradicate AI.
Yeah, so that's the first thing I would get rid of. If I go to a Martian planet, I'll be like, take their guns out, man. You know what I'm saying? Or anything. So they're not going to let us, be whatever we, because any, mediocre level robot can do the math on what kind of, damage can be done by human beings to any kind of foreign or internal enemy. Then you think that at that level of consciousness, you think it's not going to be the first priority to make sure, first let's talk about world peace, disarming everybody, and then go on from there.
So whenever you talk about AI, and when you try to deep dive into whatever AI can achieve, actually, one can't help but to go nihilistic. There's something that you said in your last lecture as well.
It does. And I don't think it's going to be, since everything is going to retune itself from every industry to every affair, people are going to get a lot more temporary meaning out of, creating more chores to do. Careers will be realigned now. Everybody will be repositioned. So it's not going to be that sort of nihilism. But at an individual level, there's not much to look forward to.
Because in the video that we saw, there was less discussion about, people losing their jobs, more discussion about, AI taking over everything. So that problem, which seemed...
It's the survival of the species. The question is, what can be done by the progress of AI, or let's just say this conscious machine. What can be done so that we can reverse engineer? Because after all, we are begetting this child. We better start doing the math on this. We are the ones who are actually having this offspring right now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? Our minds are still in labor. We better make that decision to abort or to conceive. To deliver, sorry.
Thank you so much for...
Thank you for this session. I think it's going to go a long way, inshallah.